What is up? And welcome to another episode of the Worship Based Coffee Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Soleil. We're at episode 11. So I decided we're going to turn it up to 11 by having a Christmas wish list episode. So guess what? I talked about it in the Instagram reels, but Scott is back. Scott was one of my first couple of guests that came on. He goes to the bridge too. We talked about all kinds of stuff, but this time we decided it's just going to be nothing but gear from the start to the end. So obviously both of us were really excited to just talk about gear. Let me preface this by saying this. We went by options on this gear list that were things that we really have either used, stuff that we really like. So there's so many options out there. Don't just go by what we have said and try to find something that you really enjoy yourself. Now, if you want to use some of these options as a help to put you onto some gear that you've been looking for, that's great. But really, these are just opinions of ours, and other people can be playing all kinds of different gear that's out there, and they work great for them too. And so, like I said from the very beginning, play what you love, use what you love. And with that said, let's get to the episode now. What's up, Scott?
Hey, Jay, what's going on, man?
Happy to have you back in again. I had
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Well, actually, this episode will come out December 1st. So
Happy December.
Yes, exactly. And actually, coincidentally, that will be Cyber Monday. So if you listen to this, maybe you can pick up on some Cyber Monday deals that are going on. So
I have my wish list, Jay. What about you? You got a nice little wish list
Some of
going?
them are things that I already have, but and so I love them, and that's why I want to share it. But then there's also some stuff I'm like, ooh, I think I would really love to try that at some point. So
for sure, I've definitely got some stuff in my Amazon cart that I've been like, I wonder if I should try this. just hoping that it waiting for Cyber Monday.
Well, just a precursor to everybody out there, I am dealing with the dreaded seasonal sinusy stuff. So if I sound a little more Barry White-ish, it's because of that and not anything else that's going on. So if you see me constantly grabbing for my bottle of water, you'll know that's why. So, but I thought we were talking about it beforehand, how we should kick it off, and we were like, you know what, let's start with basses. And so for somebody who is like, okay, I want a bass, and it's going to be my first one. So like some budget options that are out there. What's some ideas that you've got out there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've always been in the mindset, just buy something that feels right. So, I think it's no secret that you and I are a Fender shaped object kind of guys.
Yes.
I do love that look. So my picks tend to be more in that range and less in the other stuff. But for me, like, something as cheap as like Rondo Music. I mean, that back in the day, I would just hop on there and buy like $130 bass and then just like go to town on it.
Nice.
Now, they're not quite that affordable anymore, but like, that's super cheap. I really like the stuff from Sterling, the Music Man style stuff. If you like the look and the feel and the sound of those, they are very, very specific, but I think they're great budget basses.
Oh, for sure. What else do you have on there?
So, obviously Sire, I'm a little bit partial to those, a lot actually. So yeah, the Marcus Miller series, as somebody, I enjoy modifying things. So any bass, like I said, if it feels right to me, I'll buy it. I don't care what it is. So yeah, I really love those that are just like blank canvases where they come, like the build quality is nice. And then you have the option to upgrade stuff as you feel like it needs or as you want.
Yeah, I'm kind of like on both sides of that, where I'm like, if I've bought a bass that's kind of like custom, then I find myself a little more like, oh, well, what if I swap these pickups out for this kind, see how it sounds? Or, but then I'm also on the other side of the spectrum too, of like, oh, I like a classic car and I just want everything to be original. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I kind of all over the place on that.
No, I agree. So I think that's probably why I tend to buy the less expensive stuff is I don't feel bad taking,
Right.
a chisel and a mallet to it. Like I don't care.
Right.
Whereas when I've had nicer stuff in the past, I've always there's like I'll change the pickups or the preamp, but it's like other than that, like don't touch it. Like it's nice. So like
Yeah.
I tell my wife, I'm like, it's just too nice. I can't have something that's nice. Like it's just not fun to me. Like
Right.
I don't want to worry about it. Like
Yeah.
I enjoy the fact that I beat on my sire my main bass, and like it unless a huge chunk breaks off on it, it doesn't matter.
You're
It's
right.
just like it's my
Yeah.
workhorse. I've put all kinds of work into it and I got it where I wanted. And, I probably, wouldn't trade it for most things because it's just right for me.
Yeah. It's funny how different, like in the guitar world, that's like huge, electric guitar world, like modding, like to
Hmm.
buy like say a Squire uh guitar and just keep upgrading until now you've got
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
$400 guitar that you bought is now like really like a $1,500 guitar.
Right.
So
You put the what $500-$600 Evertune bridge on like the Squire
right.
Hello Kitty guitar. Like I love that. I think that stuff is so silly. I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but no,
Right.
I definitely prescribe to that thought of like just buy something and make it
Yeah.
yours.
On my list, I have, and it's like you said before, Fender shaped objects is
Yes.
my go
We really
tos.
should have forced ourselves to make a pick outside the box,
Right.
but I mean, I guess
Yeah,
this is our stuff, so
that's true. Yeah. And it's, and just to get people to think about it. And if you want to go with an Ibanez, I say go for it,
I
Uh,
love
oh,
Ibanez's.
yeah. And that's one really big thing is ideally, if you can get to where you can actually play it in person, that is a
Gosh, that is
plus.
it's so big. It's such a huge thing. During 2020, I decided I was gonna use that check to buy a bass, and I bought funny enough, a Sterling. I bought a Sterling from somewhere online because everybody was closed, and I went through four of them. They had a defective batch of preamps, and
Oh, wow.
the company was finally, it was Zounds. They were finally like, "We'll send you another one." They're like, "But this batch is obviously bad."
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
I've heard Scott from Scott's Bass Lessons say how they took a trip out to see Andy Baxter, and he has all these vintage ones, and he said all the ones that I looked at online that I was like I want to play that. He
mhm.
said when I played them in person, I was like, hmm. He said, and the ones that I didn't even like look at twice when I played them, he said they were amazing basses. He said it just goes to show that looks are not everything when it
I mean,
comes
that
to it.
honestly, that's my relationship with the P bass. I
Yeah,
love the way the P bass sounds. I don't like how it feels. I don't like the neck. I don't
right,
like the non-offset body. I don't like the single pickup because I play close to the bridge. Like everything about it
right.
feels wrong to me, but they're
Yeah.
magical.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah, it's totally
sure.
unrelated to what you were saying, but yeah,
Yeah,
no, I've had that. Like, you can't look at a guitar and know what the neck is going to feel like,
yeah,
or you may go to a store and play one, and then be like, all right, well, I'll just buy one online. You don't
right,
unless you're buying a boutique instrument that is like handmade and hand
right.
tested and hand everything.
Yeah.
There's so much of that that's just complete variance, and it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
matter if you're buying like a $300 Squire or you're buying like a $2,000, the Sadowski, until
right.
it's hand, like actually by hand made, that they don't know these variances.
Yeah.
nobody in the factory gives a crap what this piece of
Right.
alder sounds like versus that, or the voids, or
Yeah.
any of that stuff.
So
Like all
true.
that stuff plays into it.
Yeah. Well, I have 3 budget options that are just to throw out here. One of them is the Fender road worn basses. And
Mm,
I don't know what it is about them. But the ones that I have played, and I actually owned a jazz one years ago, was sad that I ended up getting rid of it, which I shouldn't have. But it's just, there's just this feel sometimes when you get a bass. It's like the paint that they use, it's how they sand the back of the neck instead of putting the
yep,
lacquer on
absolutely.
there, and it feels completely different. And you can usually find those for around 1,000 or less. And that's for, I know some people are kind of anti made in Mexico, but those of the made in Mexico ones, I think they're like hidden gems for sure. And like I said, that I had a Fiesta red one, so it matched
Mm.
my Pinot. And I was like, I should have never got rid of that thing because it sounded so good.
Yeah, there's certain things that you can just do to a bass that just kind of set it apart. So yeah, like the back of the neck, huge feel. Like I don't know if you've played any of the newer Sires, but they've got a rolled frettage. Like
oh, right.
that's like
Yeah.
stuff like that is, yeah,
Yes.
it's you. It's like no telling how much money you would have to pay for
Right.
something remotely American that had some of that. So yeah,
Yeah.
like there's so much value, and I think to me the mid range, that $700 to $1,300, you can get a bass for life. Like you can
Oh, yeah.
buy one instrument, and that would, well, all you would ever need.
Right. Yeah.
But the
Uh,
keyword is need, and none of us
Need,
really
yes.
need
No,
any of it. None of
that
it's a
is
need.
exactly. Next on that is the Fender MIJ basses, and those are the ones that
So good.
are directly, there was a time when, for people out there that don't know, where Japan was exclusively making some Fender instruments, and they have the little MIJ emblem on there, and those basses are just so consistent. That's the big thing with them. Japanese are very consistent in everything that they do.
Yeah,
And
and I think the MIJs have some of that we were talking about. Like I think those instruments, of the ones that I've played, like I've not played a bad one. I owned one of the Geddy Lees from the
oh, right.
90s, early 2000s, and that's one I regret selling.
Yes, I know. And then lastly, I was going to say the player series. Those are pretty good too for doing like what you had talked about. Hey, this is a good entry base for me to get
It's
in.
a fantastic like base level. Like, hey, you don't need to upgrade anything, but
Yes.
it's not so expensive that you can't buy one and then upgrade it.
Right. Yeah. And then you can go down that road yourself of, hey, I'm going to try some Lawler pickups or
Yeah.
something like that in it and see how it sounds. And so you can drastically improve just from that,
Hmm.
you know. So, do you have any other budget options?
I was trying to think in that budget range. It's really, I think it's kind of hard to go wrong.
It's true.
Uh,
You know what? One I was going to bring up, I just remembered, was Krungbin's bassist Laura Lee.
yeah,
Before she got this Fender endorsement deal, she played on a SXJ style bass.
yeah. That's the Rondo Music ones I've
Yeah,
mentioned. Yeah,
yeah,
I've probably bought 30 of those things, and
and
just
they're like what, $300 to $500?
like those are the ones that when I bought them, they were like $150 for a jazz bass, and you're like, man, I've done everything to those. It's so
Yeah,
much fun to just Frankenstein them, and they would sell like neck blanks and stuff.
that's amazing.
I miss that site when you could just go on there, because it was, yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it was a crap instrument, but like, with some work they'd be fine.
Yeah, well, some of their earlier albums, that's what she exclusively recorded on, was
Hmm.
one of those with
Yep.
some old flat wounds on it, and it sounded amazing. And so it really, to me, it's a lot of, like you said, what you put into it. So
yeah. I mean, I think it's the thing that it's the FSO. It's that Fender shaped object. I mean, they are
yes,
classic for a reason. It doesn't matter if you spend 150 or 17,000 on one. Like in
right.
a mix, it sounds like a jazz bass.
Yes, that's true. Very
So
true.
ultimately, I don't know that it really matters what you spend.
Right.
It's just like what feels right to you. Do you
Yeah.
want something where you can just pick it up and you don't have to worry about it? You don't want to have to know what size tuners to buy, or you buying 5/8 or 3/4. Like that's annoying. Like that's a
Yes.
really annoying
I
thing.
know,
Or
right?
like, does this color, does this nickel, does it match my chrome plating? Just there's all kinds of like annoyances that come with
Yeah.
it. So if you just want to buy something and just have like a nice instrument, I mean, you can do that, or like I
Yeah.
said, you can completely Frankenstein it.
Yeah. Well, for those people who want to save longer, I have kind of some boutique builders that
Yes,
I
as do I.
have personally worked with
Hmm.
and wanted to mention them too.
Yeah,
Uh, and the first one on that list is like, it's my go-to bass right now. It's my jazz bass, my Puleo bass. And they're built right here in Franklin, just north of us, I should say, Franklin, Tennessee.
that's awesome. I
And
didn't even know that.
yeah, and so he's David Puleo is one of the OG Bethel music guys, played electric guitar for them for years, and just decided he was going to start building guitars. So he builds electric and basses. And in fact, I know for sure two of the Bethel guys, that's their main acts too. But it was a pleasure like working with him.
Hmm.
He was just great, really asking good questions, trying to figure out like what you wanted, and to have a custom bass like jazz or P bass, be able to pick your woods, pickups, all that stuff. And he's just like, okay, yep. And it's $2,500, but that's the starting in case, unless you do, something, like if you decide you want to add like a preamp or something like that,
Hmm.
obviously it'll be more. But for that to have like a custom, I mean, you couldn't do that with Fender. It'd be
Well,
five
sure, you go to the
grand.
custom shop and spend 10 grand.
I know. Yeah. So it would just be insane.
Hmm.
So for that amount, and it's a really good bass, and he sands the backs of the necks too. Sounds really, and Lawlers are typically the like go-to pickups that he puts in them, and they sound great. So, and it's cool. His wife is actually the one who paints them, and so,
Oh,
which
that's
is
awesome.
awesome. So they kind
Yeah.
of, a joint thing there together. So wanted to give a plug for them first of all. Next on my list is Bluesman Vintage, which is actually here in Spring Hill. Uh, their basses start around 3,200. But here's the thing: whatever your brain can imagine for a build, they can do that. It's crazy. Like they've got like a short scale like P bass body, short scale, 5-string Thunderbird pickups. Uh, it's just like whatever, like in your mind, you're like, this is what all I would love, to put in there. If you wanted like a double P bass pickups, or, like a jazz P bass and a jazz,
Yeah.
whatever you can imagine, they can do. It's really amazing.
It is, and so as a graphic designer, I like to try to flaunt that with people to get free music stuff. But no, he and I were working on a potential project, but he showed me around last year, and he was showing me like they're bringing everything in house to sorry, to your point, yeah. So like they have the ability to do the CNC and everything. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty much limitless for them now, and I those just have a feel.
Yeah.
Um, they're a little chunky for me, so they're not my
Sure.
feel, but
Yeah.
they're great. And those Paloma bodies that he has that are like the entire, like the neck is the majority of the weight of the entire instrument.
Yeah.
Picking one of those up is
I
magical.
know. It
It's so
really
cool.
is. And so because we live right here, by, and that for years that place has been jokingly been my Cheers. Instead of going to the bar, I just go down to the Bluesman shop to hang out. Make sure I get a bunch of sawdust all over me, so I can feel good.
Yeah.
But they have offered, if you mention worship-based coffee, then you can get a 15% discount. So, which is cool. Now, granted, right now they will be using their doing their Black Friday and their Cyber Monday sale. So whichever one is greater is the one that you would get. But if say, hey, I don't have the ability to do that right now, so I'm going to wait, that offer would still be there. So, but that's all you'd have to do is mention worship-based coffee when you put your deposit down and get a little bit of a discount.
Awesome.
So
I have the order form. I've waiting to pull the trigger on it.
I tell you what's really been great now is their ability to whatever you can dream to as far as neck, like the thickness, the thinness, whether you want it to be.
I haven't been in there since.
Because they've got the full CNC machine there. I mean, they can.
So they're doing necks in house now too.
Everything in house. The only thing, obviously, they're even winding their own pickups. So, and their pickups are fantastic too. And they even I've been in there before, and there's been a local Nashville guy, and he's been getting some pickups, and they would wind them, and he'd play on it a minute, and then they go in and they'd adjust the winding, and he'd come back and play it again and see if there was differences. So it's amazing. Yeah. That whole rabbit hole you could go down,
man,
it's amazing. So if you're, if your brain is like, I want to create my own idea. They've got all the body woods you can think of, neck woods, all of that stuff. So it's great.
And if you're not aware of them, they're kind of, their big thing is that they road wear everything.
Yes.
Well, I haven't dealt with Nash lately. I know Nash originally was like, they had a couple levels, but like Bluesman will do anything.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I could give them like a picture of my kid and be like, hey, can you scrape this into the back of the body?
Right.
They'd be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. And they could do it. Yeah.
To me, I think they look the best of the kind of of the like road-worn instruments. To me, I think Blues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've just kind of their own.
From having so many vintage instruments in there from Nashville guys that get worked on or whatever, they've just learned looking at them how those wear patterns are happening, and then have kind of done that, and it's been great.
Yeah, I think they're probably the only people here locally that I would trust to work on my stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Number 3 is Mike Lull basses, and theirs vary as far as they're starting. I think they're like starting is like $499. I think like as in 4,999.
I'm about to say, I think you forgot an
I did add one more 9 on there, so basically $5,000. But that is to me one of the things. If you want a bass that is pristine. Like it would be, to me, it'd be like if you went to go buy a Corvette, and you're going down and you're picking out the colors that you want, and it's just going to be pristine from the factory. And it's just, even the wheels are just everything's going to look perfect. That is the company to me to like, especially of the Fender ones. They like, I had one and it was just literally immaculate. I was almost afraid to like take it out, so, and the biggest thing with them is, Spencer is just a joy to deal with through the whole process. Like, I know if you follow them on Instagram or anything like that, and you see him talking, like he is 100% just like what he is in those videos. We'll call you up on the phone. I've even like randomly just got a text out of the blue from him, and him saying, hey bro, just thinking about you. Hope you and your family are doing well. I mean, just,
That's awesome.
So like, I think that's one of the things about them that just makes the company so likable, as far as like, not only do they build amazing, basses, but on top of it, like, just, dealing with the guy who's at the top of the pyramid, so to speak, and like that, and him to be very like excited for your build and how you want to do it and answer questions and all that. So, and real quick, he has also offered a discount, and so it's a smaller one, but it's 5%, but that's still, hey, 5% is 5%. So
Yeah, absolutely.
if you mention worship based coffee, when you want to go, if you want to buy one, then that will get you 5% off. So
Yeah, to me, dude, I remember growing up, like looking at Bass Player magazine and seeing Brian Beller playing his Mike Lull and just being like, oh, I want one of those.
yes,
It's
I
like
know.
if they're, to me, those type of builders get into like it's almost like sculpture. I don't know, that's not the
Yeah.
word. It's almost like art, like perfection. Like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, there's a bubble in this paint. All right, let's just start over kind of level of
Right.
perfection. And that's, yeah, it's an experience
Yeah. Oh, it
to
is for
play.
sure.
Yeah, just something like that.
Well, which, I did own, which I ended up selling, one of the IMA fours, uh, which I loved that bass. It was great, but I just had finally gotten to a point where, hey, I'm not playing out anymore. I'm just playing on Sunday mornings. And so for that, I just wanted to simplify everything
Yeah.
and just jazz bass, P bass, and, have those two to be able to swap back and forth from. And that's it. And so it was really cool while I had it, but thankfully I got all my investment back in
I
it.
was going to say, generally at that level too, it's not like buying a Fender and it loses
Right.
a third of the value when you walk out of the
Yes.
store.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, especially that one, because they're
Oh,
hot
limited, right? Yeah.
commodities. Yeah.
Well,
So yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, did you have any other?
Yeah. So,
All right.
funny enough, similar to Bluesman, I went to college at Murfreesboro and met Brian Barrett of the Low End Bass Shop
Yeah.
and started to work with him, and then proceeded to work there for like the next 5 years and was
Amazing.
indoctrinated to the world of bass building and luthery and all that stuff. And it
I
was
didn't know that.
incredible. Yeah.
That's
Brian's
awesome.
like, I love Brian. He is, he is, yeah, he and I click. I mean, I love his, when I did his website, we always had a section called Brian's Theory of Wood, and where he's just very like, you can have your opinion. Here's mine. We're going to go off mine. And, in my experience, I found him to be right. But just working with him, because what I found most interesting about him operating a shop is that he wasn't a bass player, like at all. Like he thought they looked cool. And so he got into it. And so when he made his instruments, he actually approached it from somebody who is hyper familiar with bass players and also hyper familiar with basses. So he was able to make, to me, my favorite jazz bass ever. It's the low end jazz bass. And
Yeah.
what he found was, if obviously the difference between the 60s and the 70s jazz bass is that the didn't mute myself, is that the bridge pickup is pushed back. And so that gives you,
Yes.
if you're a fingerstyle or slap player, it gives you more of that like mid.
Right.
So not only that, on the low end jazz basses, he actually moved the neck pickup further back. So it takes the entire jazz bass and takes like one step towards like a Warwick thumb bass, which to me, the Warwick thumb bass is my favorite finger tone of all time.
So cool.
And to take that and adapt some of that to the jazz bass, it just makes it punchier and it's some kind of combo of a jazz bass, a Music Man, and a thumb bass, just with just a simple pickup move. But yeah, his low end basses, which are made by Wilkins now,
Okay.
and they're all in just south of Nashville. I can't forget which suburb, but like, yeah, it's great. I loved his basses. His preamp is my favorite preamp ever.
Nice.
having built them for years. Like it's just, I don't know. I don't know if he indoctrinated me or if I just think he's right about everything. But between the two, like that's for my fancy jazz bass, P style bass.
Yeah.
Give me a low end.
That's awesome. Yeah, I actually got to meet him years ago because I think it was John from Bluesman and him split a booth.
Yeah. At the guitar shows. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And
Yeah.
so I got to see some of their and play on some of their basses and stuff.
It is really fun with them being two like custom builders, like 30 minutes from each other, making in the same space, like their approach.
Yeah.
Like just to how they make their instruments is really cool.
Yeah.
Because on the one side you have John and the Bluesmen, which to me are more open and probably more traditional sounding instruments. And you've got Brian, who is everything is like turned up just a little bit.
Yeah.
And the approach is cool, and to play them both and hear how they both sound just back to back I think is really neat too.
That's awesome. Do you have any other?
That, and then with working through Brian, I met a guy named Chris Benavente who does like the real custom basses. Like, you want to get one, you're starting at like $5,000.
Wow.
And it just like the craftsmanship that goes into like the neck through bodies and just their works of art, and I love them.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
You're like, I can't see myself spending that much money on a bass, but
I had one and I sold it.
What? Really?
Shame.
But did you do it for good reasons or just like?
No, I was mad that I wouldn't do anything with music, so I just sold everything.
Oh,
so the opposite of a good reason, the horrible reason.
Oh no, that's terrible. Was that
I have pictures in my iCloud, and I'll go back and view it sometimes.
Just look at it sometimes like it was
the
little
Wolverine
baby
meme. Yeah,
that's fantastic. Yes. So moving on from our basses, I feel like the first thing definitely to start with is the DI. Direct box. I think that's like an essential part of your rig. Like before you even consider anything else, I feel like the DI is like should be the number one thing.
Well, there's like the pyramid of stuff you don't want to buy, but that's hyper important. What the DI, the power supply, and the tuner.
Yes.
Or money you never want to spend.
Right.
The three most important parts of your board.
Yes. Yeah. That's well put. It really is. But one of the things, like you can even, and I know you didn't mention a compressor, but you can even get by without a compressor.
Yeah.
Because, front of house can add some compression on you.
Sure.
And you'll be fine. But
if you're playing through an amp, you get natural compression. So
absolutely. And overdrive, if your DI has overdrive, it's going to get some natural compression too. So, but anyway, to start it out, like my favorite DI right now is the Tone Hammer. I just absolutely love it. It's so funny because in the past, I've had one and then sold it, and then had one and then sold it, and I never could seem to get it to sound the way that I want, what I was hearing up here. And then what I realized, it was because of what was going into it that was really more of my issue. And now I've kind of corrected that, and I absolutely love it. Like as far as like what pedals I had running in my chain all the way going up to it. So that one is my go-to right now. I don't know anything about the V2 version personally. I just have the OG V1, and with that one, there's one big reason why I love it is because when you're playing with your fingers, even with the AGS on, when you're playing with your fingers, it sounds super clean, maybe just a hint of like some hair on it. But then as soon as you start attacking with a pick, then all of a sudden you get this like great, like attack and great drive. And one of the big things, I was always jealous of guitarists because they could have like a pedal where they would have on, and they could, just by the way they played, they could have that, they could back off on their volume or whatever, and they could just gain stage basically without even touching anything except for the volume or how they attack.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things that really made me kind of fall in love with the tone hammer, is I like how I can do that. I can just have it on all the time, and I don't even really have to, change anything on my board. So,
right.
So what about you?
I mean, currently it's the bass rig, but
nice. The video just came out.
What?
The B15
kind
one?
of, maybe.
I know. Yeah.
I actually want just a I want a capstan with a blend control. That's all I want.
That's interesting.
I found some capstan pedals, but I don't know if I get my blend control. So I came up with capstans, and I've always played at home mostly. So like the sound of direct bass is honestly like what I'm used to. And that change to capstans did not go well for me. I'm like, why is it so muffled? So I found that the solution for me is to have a blend to be able to bring in some of that that like direct tone or pre capstan tone. It's definitely not direct tone, but like that. So that's next on my list, because I wonder, I'm like, I can just use all my different distortion pedals as that, and maybe run an EQ through the HX Stomp if I need to, but I'm like, really just need a capstan.
I wonder if something like one of the, for a while, Goodwood Audio made those, it was basically like a bass, I forgot what they called it, but essentially it's almost like a looper pedal, except that you run your original clean signal through, and then you run your effects through, and then basically it parallels them. So when the signal comes out, and you can, at least on that, you could adjust it to where your levels.
Yeah, I mean, I could even do like the Boss LS2. Okay, now
you're thinking.
All right, let me make some notes now.
Yeah,
now I
exactly.
have work to do.
Yeah. But yeah, they I forgot, I think it's called the bass interfacer is what they called it.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. And so that
didn't think to put it there. I'm like, it needs to be in the pedal.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just an idea. So,
but also that B15 sounds
oh my goodness, it does.
Oh, it does.
It really does. And I'm resisting, especially,
I don't know if I am, but
so what is it specifically? Just give an idea to the listeners, like what you like about the SVT one.
Sure. So it's funny that you're hearing you talk about that. I'm almost the opposite. So my tone journey is, or what I've always been chasing, is basically levels of gain. So when I play soft towards the neck, like I don't want a lot of gain. But if I play finger style towards the bridge and I dig in, I want gain. And then when I kick on a pedal, I want more gain. Right. But when I'm on that like mid gain level, like I want consistent gain. So I want to be able to, it's almost like the dynamics of playing and fret noise and all that stuff. I want to use it. I use that as almost part of the gain, just that noise layer. And so for me, I like to stack the gains. And for me, I don't know that the amp really even is doing much into it, other than just having like a dirty sound.
Okay. I like that.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not selling the bass rig, but we're gonna, I may try some other things.
Right. Yeah. You always gotta keep moving things around. That's how it is.
Maybe there's something better.
Exactly. Anyway, what I was going to say is my number 2 on the list is the JHS color box, and it has some things on there that you can use to give it some drive or overdriven tones, because it's supposed to simulate that overdriven tone into a Neve. but I just use it for clean and some kind of EQing on the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely love that it very much so gets a that kind of console vintage kind of sound out of it. And I love it. I have one on my board. And so I highly recommend if you're looking for a good, like clean DI to have at the end. Maybe you have a HX Stomp and you're wanting to use that for all of your effects, and or you want to use it for your amp sims, like running into that, it really sounds great. What else do you have?
I mean, you can't go wrong with the classic Sans amp.
Oh, true.
I
Yeah.
mean, the OG. I don't think it matters which version of the Sans amp. They all sound like a Sans
Yes.
amp.
Yeah. And it's that tubiness
Yeah.
that's in it. It's unmistakable.
So
So
funny, funny enough. So like the Sans amp does the thing that I'm talking about. So the thing that I chase is that the Sans amp keeps a level of distortion at all times. So like
right.
it applies it to like my lighter playing, and then once you dig in, you get all that. Just that the
Okay.
Sans amp, love a Sans amp.
That's awesome. Yeah. My last two mentions on in the DI section. Obviously, the Noble is tried and true.
Yes.
The probably the best clean. I know there are other versions of it out there. The best, I think, is the best clean DI on the market. I know that they're a little more expensive, but Jack Roan that builds them is just an outstanding individual, great Christian guy, and does he like I even had one time I was talking about it before where uh the little LED bar inside my Noble came loose
Mm-hmm.
that lit up the Noble part, and I was like, oh no, I need that. It's so nice to look down and see the little
Yeah.
Noble lit up. But I emailed him and he's like, oh dude, just send it to me and I'll get you straight. And he did and sent it back, and all I had to do was just pay for shipping. So it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I'm mostly using that one when I'm playing out like local. I'm not using it me personally, I'm not using it on Sundays. I'm using it mostly I have a pedal, and a pedal board has 3 pedals on it. It's just a tuner, uh um compression, and then the Noble, and that's it on this board. And that's what I use for like when I'm playing my upright, or if I'm playing for this Americana artist that I occasionally play for, I'll play through that with like a P bass with flats. And so it just sounds amazing, just super
Yeah.
clean tone. So but then the last one is the R&DI Neve. It's another Neve. That one's a great one too. Super clean. And I feel like this is just what I learned was if you have a passive bass, having an active DI is essential for your tone. Uh, However it's powered, however it's active,
Mm-hmm. I completely
that's
agree.
like a must have. So I know there's a lot of people out there that have the HX Stomp, and they'll just run out of that into some kind of a sometimes they'll just run. I know there's adapters out there where you can just run like XLR adapters right into the
Oh yeah, the sorry, the TRS to XLR.
right.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like for you to get some of the best sound that you can get, I feel like having a active DI in some form is important. And even if it's just just straight, one of those, I forgot what brand they are, but they're the little green box. I can't remember the name
No,
of them.
it's not
Anyway,
Whirlwind. It's
yeah, I
the
can't remember. Anyway,
yeah.
but
Just put the picture on the screen.
yeah,
This one.
yeah, exactly. But even just something simple, even the Canva has
Yeah.
has
Yeah,
the
I
little.
used that for a while. Yeah, coming out of my HX, just
Mm-hmm.
had the cab sim on the HX Stomp, and yeah, just go in the Canva and yeah.
Yeah. and it works great, giving you that. Do you have any other?
Well, it kind of combines with the other one, but the pulp and pill
Oh, okay.
actually, because the pulp and pill has the DI out with it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's good too. Next, we are going into our overdrives, which I know is one of your favorite.
Yeah, I could go way too long here.
Yes, exactly. I'm just gonna say, like, right now, my favorite that I have on my board is the Solo Dallas Bass X. It just, part of the reason why I'm liking it is because of the lack of like low end loss.
Yeah,
Which is
tough.
I know it really is. Like, if you said, okay, if you could pick any pedal right now to have and you wouldn't have to worry about your low end loss, I would actually probably pick the JHS Morning Glory, because I love that one, how it sounds. But the problem is I want to be able to kick it on. I don't want to have it on all the time. And so because of it, then it's just like, you immediately lose that low end. And
there's a review of that one on YouTube. It's a dude with like an 810. And he starts it playing. I'm like, oh, this sounds so good. And he clicks off. He goes, here's my clean tone. And he clicks it back on. And I went, oh. Yeah, that's it. That's got to be an always on pedal, or that's
yes, exactly.
pedal.
You have to. And then that way, if you had the Morning Glory and you left it on all the time, then at the end with your DI or something like that, you could EQ some low end back in. Right. I know, like the bassist for Mute Math, he actually has the Boss EQ pedal on his board. And so because of that, he's able to have that on, and it can help keep all of his, frequencies still good, because he loves that drive so much. So, but in the Solo Dallas, just wanted to point out something. When this episode comes out, it's going to be on actual Cyber Monday, and they're doing a 20% off. So if anybody's interested, you don't have to have any kind of, code or anything like that. They're just going to be doing a Cyber Monday sale for 20% off. So if you're interested, and those are like $229, so 20% off that's pretty good for a
quality drive for bass. Yeah, that's a great price.
Yeah. So what about for you? What's overdrive?
For me, so I like the if I'm gonna kick on a drive, I want it to be a nice light drive, because I've already driven anyway, so I just another layer. But for me, that's like the vintage micro tubes, which to me is probably my favorite dark glass pedal. I really love the dark glass stuff, except for something in the high end of the dark glass stuff I don't like. But the way that they shape the mids, I really like. And that drive was on my board. I mean, I just took it off to swap it out for the Tech 21 VT bass.
Oh yeah,
which does kind of the same thing.
Sure.
It's just, but yeah, no, I that pedal is just so good.
Yeah. Oh, and what's great is they make a DI version as well.
Yes,
which has a little more.
I have not had that one. I think that would probably be one of my ultimate DI pedals.
Yeah, that would be great. So you'd have an XLR out of there, and I think it has some extra EQs like that you can.
It's got and they've got their cab sims built in too. So
that's right. The new ones, I forgot about that, have the cab sim on them, which is amazing, because then you can go down that whole rabbit hole. I know this next one I wanted to mention, because I knew that you had it on your board, is the Big Booty Judy.
Oh yeah. The best bass distortion. I've not low end loss.
Right.
It's a rat. There's a blend control. It's a rat.
Yeah.
And there's no low end loss.
Exactly. Like, what else needs to be said, right?
Yeah.
Although I did hear something very cool. I don't know if you saw him, Jordan, talk about it, but apparently the V2 that's going to be coming out is going to be kind of like the MXR bass synth, that just released, where you will be able to have pre-saved settings on it.
Interesting.
So I don't know if some of those settings are going to be ones that, like, you know, just like with that one where he has them saved on there, and then you can then tweak off of that or what. But it's going to be, I guess there's going to be some kind of a additional button on there where you can scroll through, like, save some saved presets on there, which is pretty interesting. So
I gotta have multiple rat settings.
yeah, exactly. So that'll be pretty cool when that comes out, just to kind of see, you know, what all it entails. So the last thing that I have on my list is the Brown amplification, the Protein. Although that pedal is specifically for it was made for electric guitar. It's got the, like, tube screamer, and then I forgot what the blue one is called, but the two settings on there. And it really, my buddy from Colony House has had it on his board forever and loves it.
I love their tube screamer.
Yes.
I really like it on bass.
Yeah, it sounds great. So anyway, that one's a kind of a last, and I think with the new ones too, they have some of that new stuff where you can download some things to it too. In their newest version, I think it's like version 3, I think maybe it is. So,
I hadn't seen that one.
Yeah. So anyway, very cool. On next to you didn't have any other? Did you have any other overdrives that you want to mention? No. Okay. Let's see. I know after you say Big Booty Judy, what else do you need to say, right?
I mean, I mean, like, yeah, like, give me a low gain and then give me that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, maybe a fuzz pedal. Sure.
Yeah, which we'll get to that. But so next is octave pedals. Right now on my board, I have the MXR Bass Octave Deluxe, and my situation was very similar to some other people. Is years ago watched Michael League share his board, and man, when he played with it, I was like, how is that octave tracking so well? And so just immediately, like, loved it. Their pricing on theirs are really, like, affordable too. Like a lot of MXR stuff, it's like $179 for that. It also has like a mid boost bump on it too, if you're wanting to do that. I personally don't, but it's great. I absolutely love it. I love too sometimes using it in conjunction with my Bass X, and I feel like it's a little bit different than say like the microsynth, whereas the microsynth has that square wave, you know, it's a pretty strong fuzz sound. And then with that, it's just kind of like taking the octave sound and just making it sound a little grungier, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so it's not quite in your face kind of thing that like the microsynth is. So just an idea on that. What do you have for those?
I will be honest, I use octave pedals, but I just use what's built into the HX Stomp.
Nice.
I've got a little like Amazon OC2 style, because I really don't use it when I play. So like, it's noisy when you turn it on and off, but like I had a spot and it was there. But yeah, no, I usually, for the most part, I will do the more like the poly style octave and actually like playing. But for like having fun and like noises, I love just an OC2 style.
Oh yeah.
So I had that on here. I'll kick that on, some reverb, Judy, and then just do some swells.
Nice. Yeah, that's fun. In that same realm, you were saying the OC2, you know, MXR makes it's called the Vintage Bass Octave.
Yes, and that it is very good.
For people that don't know, the Vintage Bass Octave and the OC2 is the exact same thing. So what happened is Yannick Guzalda, I hope I didn't butcher that.
Yeah, I mean, I watch him all the time, and I hear him say it, but that's way better than I could.
That's close as I can get.
That was great.
Anyway, he went to MXR and said, here is my OC2. I want you to take everything that's in that and create one into a smaller footprint. And they were like, okay, you got it. And so that's what they did.
Fantastic.
So it's
if
literally
you want that style octave, it is
fantastic. It's an exact replica, and it's $169 on Sweetwater. So
yeah, go look up an OC2. Go look up a silver shrew OC2.
Yes, yeah, and then you'll go, oh yeah, the vintage bass octave.
I can have like 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah, exactly. And then on the last one in that group for me, anyway, I used to have it on my board. I don't. Years ago, I had it as the Aguilar Optimizer. Aguilar stuff is just great anyway.
It is.
That one has a blend on it, which is kind of cool. A little bit different than what some have, although the Bass Octave Deluxe does have a blend as well. It's like a dry knob. But yeah, that one's another one. If for some reason you happen to find one super cheap and it's like, hey, I'll just give it a try. Maybe you find it on Reverb or whatever. So
they're just fun pedals.
Oh,
when I build a board, I like to have a fun slot. So that fits great. An OC2 goes great there. I love Earthquaker devices. They're great to put in just like a weird spot because they always have a really good sound and then just 100 just unusable sounds, but they're just a whole lot of fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. Yeah. And keep a fun spot on your board.
Yeah, exactly. Next we have our fuzz pedals, which is awesome. Right now, the only fuzz pedal that I have on my board is, if you want to call it a fuzz, it's kind of both, a combination of the octave and fuzz, is the Microsynth. I love it, especially for really big parts on Sunday mornings, kind of those parts towards the end, and it fills and fills and fills. So it does take some tweaking. Sometimes you have to adjust the trim pot inside of it to kind of get those levels right. I know there's been some people have talked about some issues that some of them have had, like as far as, because I had one time that did it too, and it's almost like the sound was on kind of a roller coaster. It's weird. Like you hit a note, hit another note, and it's almost like the octave fuzz sound would come in, and then all of a sudden it would go away, and then it would come back. It was like really odd.
Mine does that, and I can't get it to stop.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know, and I don't know if that's just a manufacturer issue of something or whatever, because like then I've got this one and it doesn't do it. I don't know what the difference is and what causes that. So what about you for a fuzz pedal?
Yeah, if anybody wants a Microsynth that kind of works, let me know.
Yeah.
I would even say mostly works.
Right.
Fuzz pedal, I keep a small board. I use what the HX has, but I always use the big black Russian Big Muff. The black with yellow, love that Big Muff. That's
awesome.
I love that as a fuzz, but they're massive.
Oh,
way
I know.
too big to keep on the board.
Another one that's I think it's been discontinued, but it's the JHS 4-wheeler fuzz, and that one's really cool. It's basically a similar version of the Zvex Woolly Mammoth fuzz. So I think it's pretty much the same components. So if either of those has some pretty good tones to them, I think David Curran has the Zvex Woolly Mammoth on his board. It's pretty cool.
I mean, it's the classic.
Right. Yeah.
I guess maybe it's classic to me because I grew up with when it came out, saw the bands were using it. But
definitely.
Sound of my childhood. The bass fuzz of my childhood.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on to compressors. For me, my number one go-to compressor right now is a Union Tubes Lab. And part of it was, remember when I talked earlier about the tone hammer and not really being able to get it right? Well, I had a Cali 76 on my board, and I love the Cali 76. That's what's on my board with my Noble. But for some reason, the way that it grabbed my bass and then poured it into that, it just did not sound the same as when I used the Union Tube. And I love it because it's just two knobs. it's like one's gain and one's compression, and that's it. And so like for me, sometimes like I get like overwhelmed, looking down at all the knobs, and I'm like, so
Yes.
yeah. So anyway, that's one of my favorites right now. I think those are about $235. But what's really cool is they're based on a LA2A compression style, and they really looked for a long time trying to find the right diodes and all that kind of stuff, just to kind of get it as close as they could to that compressor. So what about for you?
So I have the Cali 76 now, and I bought it just because I didn't want to ever have to buy another compressor again. And
Yeah,
so far it's been that. I think it's been on my board for 2 years and I haven't touched it.
that's awesome.
Um, yeah, but uh, it's got 6 knobs, which is a lot, but
Sure.
it's really easy to dial in.
And some of the knobs are like really well thought out. I mean,
Mhm.
truthfully, as far as like how much compression you want on your low E, or
Yeah.
if you have a B,
Mhm.
it that high
Yeah.
pass filter.
Yeah. So I mean, it's almost like a blend control too
Yeah.
for that. But yeah, so that's the one I've got now. Before that, I had the dark glass hyperluminal, but
Okay.
I found that I always just replicated the 1176 sound. So I
Oh,
was like,
nice.
maybe I should just get an
Yeah.
1176 style.
And it probably had a smaller footprint,
Oh, it definitely did.
yeah.
Smaller,
So,
smaller price as well,
yeah.
but
Oh, yeah.
you
True. Very
gotta
true.
pay to
That's
play, I
awesome.
guess.
And then
But yeah,
on that, go ahead.
but yeah, no. As far as compression goes, I like it really fast and really hard blended. About 40, have that be about 40% of my tone,
Okay.
and I think that's part of that way, that running line through my signal train of like consistent gain. I think that's probably the biggest part of that for me,
Right.
is that if I
Okay.
can get that 40% to sound where I want it to, then when I dig in, it really
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. And on what you said before, the JHS Pulp and Peel is another
Yes.
great
Mhm.
compressor too. Uh, I had a friend of mine that had one on his board for years. And so that one's a really good one. Next on to chorus. Uh, I only have experience really with two pedals. One is the Julia,
Great pedal.
yeah, which is a great sounding one, and then also the Boss CE5. But it's funny because for chorus, the only ones that I've really how do I want to say it, like really loved, have been the ones in the HX Stomp. Like their
They're
chorus
really
that they
good.
have on there is called the 70s chorus, I think it is. I like when I play chorus, I want to hear watery chorus. That's just what I want. I want there to be no mistake that I have chorus on my bass, And so like
Right.
that's been my only complaint with some of just the regular fixed pedals, is I try cranking it as much as I can, and I'm like, it hardly sounds like it's there at all.
I know I love the walrus stuff, but yeah, I do. I noticed that on bass. That and the walrus stuff kills your low end
Yeah,
pretty
it can
bad.
for sure. Yeah, definitely. So, but also Aguilar has a chorus pedal too, and that one's a bass friendly one.
Yes.
Uh, and that one goes for 229, which is not bad,
No.
if you're really wanting to get a chorus pedal. Uh, moving on to the multi effects stuff. Uh, you know, we've talked pretty much the entire episode about the HX Stomp. Honestly, that could be your, like what you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you might have your couple of pedals that are like your favorite drives, but then everything else, you could literally have your octaves, you could have reverb, you could have chorus, delay, all that stuff right in the Stomp, and
Yeah.
you'd be set. So,
And my personal recommendation would be get the XL.
oh,
Having
okay.
those extra buttons, I would love to have,
Yeah. Yeah.
because currently I've got the volume. I've got a volume No, wait, it's not even attached to the HX Stomp. It's in line. I've got a little AB button. But yeah, like to just have all those extra buttons, to just have the dedicated tuner button, so I didn't have a tuner on my board.
Oh yeah.
But as it is now, I've got, my AB switches up and down, and then I have 3 stomps on the stomp. So like I don't have access to the tuner without having to reach over.
Right. Yeah, like reach and do the 2 press. I actually tried the HX1. The only thing I don't like about it as much is that it is just a one and done effect at a time. So the great thing about the Stomp is you can basically, like what you do, kind of create your own pedal board within the Stomp. And so you can have like, oh, I've got an overdrive, I've got an octave, and they're all there. And so, like you were saying, with each stomp that you're pressing on is your different sounds, that all ready to go, instead of having to quickly, scroll to the next one. It still, to me, sounds exactly the same. But so if maybe a person is like, well, I'm only going to use one pedal one, effect at a time, say per song, then that, if you want something smaller, it is great. It's a pretty good size. So, did you have any multi effects?
I mean, I need that dark glass anagram.
That's amazing. Yeah.
It
really,
fun.
What's funny is Josh Summers, who was on a few episodes ago, he was 100% all in anagram guy. That was all he was doing. And then I'm telling you, right after the episode dropped, he said, bro, I just sold my anagram and I got back all the pedals that I had before.
It is, to me, that's why I have a hybrid board and why I don't just have the big line 6.
Right.
I want pedals, like, and there are certain sounds that just, whether it's feel or whatever you want to call it, digitally just aren't the same as coming from a pedal.
Right. Yes, very true. And just like in the Stomp, I personally have never been a huge fan of the overdrives. They're not bad. It's just, I don't know, like standalone drives have always been better for me. So that is a perfect example of
absolutely. And I know the classic thing is like, oh, we'll just split your signal. Do a signal split on your HX Stomps. Don't put anything in the loop. Play and then turn it off. I don't understand why there's a difference, but there is.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
If you split your signal, you're changing your tone, which is annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and then last on that list, I mentioned the Quad Cortex. That one's like, I really would love to do a deep dive in on that, because when I watch videos, I'm just like, this is incredible as far as being able to essentially replicate almost your entire pedal board onto one thing. That would be amazing to do. But
do you just want to use that one thing for the rest of your life, Jay?
No, definitely not.
That is the thing with multi effects for me. It's like,
I know.
Yeah, if I buy this means I don't.
Right. That's
don't
it.
Need to buy any other pedals.
I know, exactly. Well, and then I would miss out, because I feel like there are certain things that, the JHS color box that it does that is going to be really hard to replicate, that kind of warmth that it produces, those analog things. Now I have a friend of mine who's been on here, and that's all he uses is a Quad Cortex. That's it. Just runs straight into that. And I've heard, him do some church recordings, and it sounded great,
Yeah.
So I know that it can be done, but I find myself being very like, I need to see the pedals on my board, and be able to, oh, let me just do this just a little bit. And it just makes my ears feel better when I do that, So, quick pick on amps. this is just a quick opinion from Jay, but from my gigging history, what I found is that unless you are going to be miking your amp, that your amp really doesn't matter. That nobody in the audience is going to hear really your amp. They're going to, if you have a pedal board and you're running off your pedal board to front a house, that's what they're going to hear. And so what ends up happening is your amp becomes your monitor, and that's it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go with what is lightweight and does not kill me. Ideally, yes, I would love to have an SVT and a 810 standing behind me to like make my pants rattle. But in truth, it's kind of like, unless you're doing an outdoor gig, that's pretty much useless. But what I have found is that any of the Aguilar combinations, whether it's like 212s, 410s, whatever, and their SL series is just really good. Good quality. They sound great, have a lot of good low punch to them. And they, like the guys in my group would be so angry with me because I could literally walk in with my entire
your entire
gear.
rig.
Yeah, my entire rig. Great. I'd have my amp. I'd have my, because the head is just a 4-pound head. I'd have that in a little case, have my guitar on my back, and I'd just walk in with my cabinet and I'd be like, done. And they would be so angry because they'd have to take like 20 trips, to the truck. Right. So it's just so funny. So that was just a quick, if you're like, maybe you're at a church where you do play with amps on the stage, that is one that I highly recommend. Heading down to the final picks here for our Christmas list. Strings.
Yes.
This could be another one of those overdrive things that we could talk forever on, but we won't.
Absolutely.
But right now, my go-to is the Diodario's NYXLs. I just love them. I feel like the brightness takes longer to wear off on them, and so right now I've been really happy with those. What about you?
Same.
Nice. Yeah. What gauge do you use?
I usually go. I like a 45 to 105 usually.
Okay.
Or 45 to 135, but those are harder to find. It's usually 130.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I'm usually the ones that are green. It's like 45 to 105. That's the ones that I have.
I used to love DRs, but they have a little bit too much zing for my current setup. So that slight reduce of mellowness that the Diodarios have is working real nice right now for me.
I think it's too with the because of them being nickels helps a little bit too.
Yeah, that absolutely.
You definitely get some warmth. The strings that were my go-to before that were Labellas, and they're nickels, and they had a series that was their you can only get them at Chicago Music Exchange, and they're pure nickels, right. And they're called Chicago style Labella.
That's cool though.
And they're really cool. Well, Mark, I forgot what his last name is, that used to work for Chicago Music Exchange and bassist. He left and went to go work for another bass builder. I can't remember what his last name. Anyway, he is the one who went to Labella because he was there, went to Labella, and they designed these strings specifically with like feedback that he gave. And if you want a string that does have a little more warmth and a little less zing, I highly recommend those. After a while, when they kind of break in, they almost have kind of a it's like a flat wound sound, but with still the bite that a round wound has. So, which is pretty cool. So next, tuners.
I just want to say, I don't know if you've tried these. Yeah, no, this just came out of nowhere. Yeah, the Ernie Ball Cobalt flat wounds. Have you tried those?
No, I have not.
I would love to get your experience on those. So they are, I think I remember this right. They're a stainless steel flat wound, and the core is made of cobalt, which is apparently picks up. It has a higher magnetic field than what strings normally have, and so they have that like, I don't know if these are dead rounds or new flat sound, like indefinitely, like it doesn't go away.
Interesting. I would definitely like to try that out because
I want to know what you think of those.
On my P bass, that I use playing with the Americana guy, that's what I use as flat wounds on it. Right now, I've just been using labellas, and I'll just as soon as I get them, put them on, get me some Vaseline and rub on. I was
going to say, do you go have some greasy chicken and then just rub the strings?
It on there real good, rub it back off, and they just have that great thump to them. I mean, obviously, that was what James Jamerson had on his bass he had the same strings on there for like 30 years or something like that. It was ridiculous. So
I saw a story, I can't remember who it was, but basically he would buy a bass and he loans it to somebody for 2 years and tells them don't ever change the strings, and then after 2 years he takes it back so he can play them.
Nice. And so the strings will all be broken in.
They're always
That's
dead.
Amazing.
Just
That's
dead as a
amazing.
doornail when he gets them.
That's amazing. I love that. Moving on, tuner pick. I love the TC Electronics Polytune tuners, especially the Mini is great.
Yes.
Has a
highly recommend that as well.
Yeah, has a really bright display, and the letters are plenty big size, so my non-vision eyes can see them good.
The screen is very bright.
Yes, exactly. So
I actually like like enough that you can see in the middle of the day. Like they are very, very, very bright.
Yeah. I actually had that issue at an outdoor festival with a different. I want to say
honestly, so I've got the Strobo Stomp, and I have a feeling that it won't do good out in daylight either.
Interesting. Yeah, but I guess it's all in like what you need. But the Peterson, that one's really cool too, though, as far as like the display is great, a great size.
Nice. Yeah.
I find myself being very old school though. Like there's something for me about the little dial and having it, and then when it's straight, I'm good. Like versus where it's like kind of that little rotating thing,
You're gonna make me buy a new tuner.
Which I will say, the Polytune Minis are only like $53, which is crazy.
I'm sure they'll be on somebody's Cyber Monday sale.
Exactly. And then last coming in here, two things we wanted to bring up is a quick pedal board pick and then power supply. Pedal board, you and I both have Temple Audio. Right now I'm using Pedal Train, but I have a Temple board that I use also. But some of the greatest things to me, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, is just the under the board routing of things is just it's really easy to do.
Yeah, I have a small pedal train that if I ever have to do like a really like a flight kind of thing that I have, but as somebody who struggles with OCD, the Temple is the way to go to get all those cables underneath the top is great. And I gave up on their Temple mount system. I just use dual lock now, but
because the thing is with that is whenever you place that pedal on there, at that moment, it's in the perfect spot. But whenever you go to move said pedals again, which is something that we do all the time, now because of where the plate is on the back of it, if it was over to the side a little bit, now you move it over to here and it won't fit. And so you're like, So I've even before, you know what I've done is zip tied
No, don't say that. That hurts my ears.
Oh
Jay,
yeah,
come on, we got to be better than that.
I
No.
totally have, because I'm like, I don't have any dual lock with me. I don't have any more of the plates. So I was like, forget it. I'll just zip tie it. And so because it's got those little holes, I
Yeah.
just and done. And then I've got one of those little things where I can tighten it and cut it off, and it'll just be perfect.
Okay, well, at least you made it look good.
Oh yeah, it's gonna still look good for sure. And then Pedal Train's great too, also. But Temple is actually a lot more affordable than people realize, especially if you just buy like the pedal board and then say a like a regular gig bag for it, and not necessarily the hard case. I mean, it's pretty much about the same price as if you were to get a Pedal Train. So
it is, and I'm. It gets made out like Temple's so much more expensive. Now, if you're buying, the modules, you don't have to have the modules. The modules are great. The modules are actually a reason to do the Temple board. So that, yes, those are expensive, but you don't need them. And then the plates can get pricey if you're changing them out, but you don't need those either.
Yeah, exactly.
The gig bag's $50. Just grit and swallow it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're set.
Yeah,
but they're fantastic. They're much more user friendly than any of the other boards.
Oh, for sure. And then lastly, the as far as power supply, I have the CS6, which is by True Tone, the one spot, and it's been great. I have never had any issues with it. Their customer service is amazing. They're also another company that's right here in Spring Hill. So for me personally, it's been great. When I've needed one, I just swing right by there and I pick one up. But they're great, and a lot of have a lot of adapters and stuff like that, to where you can, if like you have an HX Stomp or something like that, you can actually power it. There's just a quick tangent here. There's so many like, how do you want to say it? Like rules and regulations as far as power supplies go, of what they are allowed to say and not say about their, about like as far as like, say, the total output of that power brick, like what it actually is versus what it says it is not the same.
Right. So it's like RMS versus peak.
Right. Exactly. So, like powering an HX Stomp or something like that is very doable.
Mine's powered off of it. I bought the adapter when I got it. Powers my HX Stomp and 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 other pedals.
Nice. So is that what you have? Is
I have the CS6 as well. But nice. No, it powers my whole board.
Yeah, it's great too because it's low profile, so it fits under there. Yeah, perfectly.
I bought it for my tiny pedal train, and then
nice.
I put it on here, so it goes with me. But I've used cheaper stuff, and it works great for if you're using some Boss pedals or But once you move to digital, it's time to buy expensive power supply.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, and obviously some pedals that are the like the Aguilar Tone Hammer can be the DIs can be run off of phantom power, but you don't always want to have that as a thing, because you just never know what situation you're going to be in. So
yeah, absolutely.
And then lastly, I've heard good things about the Walrus Audio Canvas power. I personally don't have one, but I've heard that they have specific like outages just for your HX Stomp, or even for the like Quad Cortex. It'll even power that, which is really cool.
Wow.
So yeah, very cool. So since you said that you have the True Tone too, I guess that's the end on that. So
but I've one spot. I've owned the one spots. They're nice too. Yeah, but once I got the HX, I had to get something. My one spots just didn't have enough. Didn't have enough juice, so I had to swap over to that.
But yeah, I've never had any issues. It's always been quiet. Never had any problems.
It's whisper quiet. Like it's all wrapped like all as pretty as my pedal board is from the top, it's a rat's nest underneath. And
Oh,
there is
100%.
not a no noise.
Yeah. And one thing that I'm even doing is mine only, the CS6 only has 6 outputs.
Right.
But I have, let's see, 8 pedals on my board. So in a normal circumstance, you'd be like, oh, well, that's not going to work. But what you can do is you can actually daisy chain, and they have an adapter that comes in it. It's a splitter where you can daisy chain 2 pedals off of one spot.
Yeah, and also pro tip, you can daisy chain most tuners as well. Most tuners will let you power another pedal or power 3 or 4 other pedals.
Right. Like the Boss one, I know for sure has that extra. But like with this, what I did, and might seem silly, is I named off all the pedals that I have and went on to Chat GPT, and I said, tell me the milliamps rating for all of these pedals for the board. And then it just went down, told me what they were. And I was like, okay, well, whichever the lowest ones are, those are the 2 that I'll combine together at like a 200. And I'm only using like maybe 150,
right.
on it. So, and so it's great. Then I
Mine
can
wasn't
actually
quite
expand.
That precise. I just plugged them in to see which ones wouldn't turn on together. But we got there at the same. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, so it's great. Just throwing that out there as an idea if you are like in that same situation. So anyway,
I've honestly, now I have a smallish board, but like I'm running the HX Somp, I'm running the Origin effects at 18 volts. I've got the Cali 76, the bass rig, VT bass. Like these are not like small drop pedals. And
right. And isn't your
never had an issue.
Your Cali 76, isn't it a 18 volt one too?
Yep.
Yeah. So
yeah, I've got it. Yeah, it's pulling 18 volts.
Yeah, so it's great on the bottom there. You can just flip that little tab over and it just immediately is 18 volt. That's what I have. The tone hammer runs at 18 volts. So just plug it right in, move that little switch over, and you got 18 volts. It's nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, cool. I guess that's the end of our gear.
How much money did we spend? Did we spend less than the GDP of at least one country?
I'm not sure about that, but yeah, especially with the boutique basses alone.
Yeah, I think you and I both spent 10 grand just off the rip.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for 2 instruments.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd be like, hey, I don't have any pedals at all. But at least I have a really awesome bass.
I guess if you're new to music, just play this in reverse order.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then you'll, yeah. But saying all that again, and we talked about this a little bit, these pedals are not absolutely necessary pedals. It's like you said, that triangle, of having a good DI, a tuner, and a good power supply, that right there can be the difference just as a start. And you're looking, okay, what am I going to do? How can I start? And then maybe later on start adding in, but it's so hard to do. And I know I'm saying this and I know I'm thinking something completely different in my head when I'm saying this. And that is, don't get caught up in all the worship bass posts, of people's boards and like, oh, well, look at the 12 pedals that they have on there. I need to have that too. It's not 100% necessary. Number one should always be just getting better at the bass. And then after that, everything else obviously is icing on the cake. So,
well, to put a nice wet rag on all of this, the difference between plugging a bass directly into a DI box and running it through the $2,000 worth of pedals, maybe 3 people in the audience are going to notice a difference.
Very true. Very true.
We're all chasing that last 5% of our tone, and just
very
all
true.
This for the last little bit.
You're exactly right. Yeah, because honestly, at least like in our situation, I know the only people who are really going to notice are maybe, and this is a big maybe some of the people that you're serving with on the stage. That's if
you
they
get
actually
you get a little side eye or a smirk occasionally, and that's the extent of it.
That's if they have you up in their mix, because there's a pretty good chance that you might not be. And so that,
So
and
I
then
always play a couple wrong notes in rehearsal and just see who looks.
yeah,
You have me up.
that's a good idea. And then the other thing is, like, if there's another bassist in the in the service that you're in, we text each other and encourage each other all the time.
Yeah.
And it's good to get that text and be like, man, bass sounded good this morning. I'm like, yes, thank you. The one person in the whole room who heard the bass. So it's great. It's so funny, but it's true. It really is true.
Yeah.
But we also, along with that, we are completing a sound, with that. But you're right. That extra 10% is just splitting hairs. So anyway, cool. Well, thank you for coming on again.
Thank you for having me again, Jay. I appreciate it as always.
Definitely will love to have you again on down the road at some point. Really cool plug here real quick. The next podcast that's coming after this one, I'll give you tell you who the guest is going to be. I have to come in real close.
Okay, I'm going to listen really close.
Bryce Vaughn.
Ooh.
Yes, I did say that.
I'm jealous.
So
you and I have exchanged many text messages on how his freaking P bass sounds so good.
It does, and on top of it, he hardly ever uses a pick, ever. He's just finger playing, and it sounds ridiculous.
He's clacking those frets.
Yes. So that's total. What is it? I'm blanking on the name now. Oh, Rush, Geddy Lee tones there for sure. So, but anyway, I just thought I would share that. So something to look forward to.
Incredible. Congratulations.
That he'll be on. He was a great, great hang. And we had probably about as many things in our episode as in that one that I needed to edit out. So,
and I didn't even make an inappropriate joke this time.
Yeah,
so look at me. I'm getting better.
Yeah, I left that one in there. So, but yeah, we joked about all kinds of different stuff.
I'm ready to hear that one.
Yeah, I really appreciated him coming on. He was fantastic. So anyway, a lot of good stuff to look forward to. And
rad, man, you're going places. You got the discounts. You got the guests.
Trying, yeah.
That's awesome.
Not that for myself, just for all the listeners. That's what I'm trying to do here. So anyway, cool, man. Well, thanks again. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Jay, as always.
Yeah, thank your wonderful family also for.
Will do. We'll see who's bleeding when I walk out the door.
Yes. Dad to the rescue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. All right. I'll see you later, Scott.
All right. Awesome, Jay. See you
later. Welcome back into the Worship Based Coffee Studios. That was a great episode. A lot of fun to talk about different gear, which we love doing. I think most people enjoy talking about it. Again, like I said, those were just opinions of ours. Also, if you ever have any questions about gear, I might not know all the answers, but I'd be glad to help you. So if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, I'd be glad to give you any kind of advice that I can give. Not that I'm going to have every answer out there. And then to kind of wrap things up here, I just thought, since this is the month of December and today being December 1st, that with the start of Advent, that on the dates that these podcasts release, I thought, hey, maybe that I can read kind of some scripture that is Advent related, just to kind of kick off this month in the Christmas spirit, and also remembering why we do celebrate the month of December of Christmas, and that is because of Jesus Christ. So right here I have John. In John, it is chapter 1, and it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him, all things were made. Without him, nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not yet overcome it. So that's the first one. I'll be sharing 2 more for this month because this month it's an extra special worship-based coffee, and all there are 3 episodes in this month. I do them bi-weekly, and it just so happens that December has 3 episodes. So more episodes for you. And so I just thought, you know what? On those dates, I'm going to share an Advent scripture relating to that. So we'll be doing that. So anyway, if you haven't yet, just a little bit of business on the end here. If you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube page, please do so. That helps. If you can go on whatever you listen to the podcast on, if you can go on and leave any kind of review, that really helps a lot, helps the algorithm, helps more people to get to hear it. Just trying to build a community. This is not for me, other than the best thing that I've gotten out of this has been making new friends and across the US, which is really cool. Guys who have some of the same heart and mind that I do, and are faithfully serving on Sundays too. And so that has been the icing on the cake for me, getting to form these new friendships with people. So with all that, again, if you can also share anything that you hear across those platforms, share with another bassist or other musicians that might be interested, that helps too. So any of that would be great. So anyway, wrapping up this episode, I hope it was helpful. I hope that maybe you got something out of it, and maybe hopefully I didn't contribute to your gassing for a pedal or for a bass, but if it was just hopefully a genuine help in helping you to find or settle on some gear that you've really been wanting. And so anyway, with that, I will say goodbye. And as always, remember, tell someone you love them, and we'll see you next time.